So, Dr. Dinah, welcome to Kisumu County Appointment Committee of the County Assembly of Kisumu. So my name is Elisha Jack Oraro, a Speaker County Assembly of Kisumu, and the chairperson of the Appointment Committee responsible for vetting of the nominees of the governor. So you are here courtesy of a letter that I received from the governor on your nomination to be member of the Kisumu County Public Service Board. And we also received your response for our advert in the dailies. So I will take the shortest time possible to introduce the members of this committee. But before I do that, I've got some few rules. One, when we'll be proceeding, there is a paper and a pen in front of you. If you need to write something, write there, including any member asking more than one question. But if it's more than one, you can answer them in the order that you like. Number two, there is a microphone there. It's very easy to operate. When we ask you a question, just press it, answer, press it again, it goes off. Allow the other members to contribute or to ask questions. We are live. This vetting is public. So the public is seeing what we are doing here, including you. So if you have family members and the other people, I'm sure they'll be watching you. It's not in camera. It's not a secret. We also want to request that you feel free. If you ask any question you feel you don't want to answer, just tell us to pass so that we save on time. We already have your documents. We are also doing our due diligence on you. We just want to ask you some few questions which will be added on top of what we already have from your submissions and what we have gathered elsewhere. Lastly, here you have to take an oath. It's a requirement that when you appear before such committee, you have to take an oath, because we want to assume that whatever you're going to tell us is the truth. And for it to remain your words, you must take an oath. You are also on Hansard, and these Hansards remain forever. Somebody will come here 100 years in the future, will find those records. So be truthful and candid. So clerk, I would request you to take Dr. Liech through the oath administration.
I, CS Dr. Dinah Anyango, do solemnly and sincerely swear that every word that I shall utter before this committee is the truth and nothing but the truth, and every statements and declarations that I shall make shall be made consciously, believing the same to be true according to the oath and the Statutory Declaration Act. So help me God.
Thank you so much. Now, Now you are here now legally, so I can introduce the members. My name is Elisha Jakoraro, Speaker, County Assembly of Kisumu and Chair of the Appointment Committee. Next to me is the Vice Chair of this committee, Honorable Millicent Omoya, also member of North Seme Ward. And in my immediate left down there is Honorable Rea Okombo, is the Deputy Speaker and a member of this committee, and MC representing Onyata B. Then we have Honorable Zachary Okoyo, member representing Central Ward, Central Kisumu Ward, Chairperson, Labor and Social Welfare Committee, and a member of this committee. Next to him is Honorable Eunice Alando, and a specially elected member of this committee and Chair Agriculture. We have a friend of the committee there called Honorable Moses Ochele from East Kanawawidi, and the Chair Jailak Committee. At the back, on the extreme left, is Honorable Kennedy Ooko, is the leader of majority, member of this committee, and MCA representing Ahero Ward. There's a friend of the committee there called Honorable Samuel Dede, representing North Kisumu Ward. Then we have Honorable Seth Kanga at the back there, member representing Market Milimani, member of the committee, and the Chief Whip, Majority Chief Whip of the County Assembly of Kisumu. Then we have Honorable Karen, member representing Kaloleni Shaurimoyo, Chair, Finance and ICT Committee, and a member of this committee. Honorable Karen, I want you to sit somewhere here so that the nominee doesn't turn her back to look for you. There's a seat here. There's another seat here. Now, Dinah on my left is Haman, and on my right is Peter and DT, the clerks of the committee. We have got our ICT team, the media team who are covering you live. There is a gentleman sitting next to you there. That lady walking. They are our sergeant at arms. They will be able to assist you. If you want any assistance, they will be able to assist you. We have got our interns and other staff members behind there. So I want you to feel free, and I want you now to introduce yourself. Unfortunately, I'm going to dictate how you are going to introduce yourself. One, before you start, you will give the sergeant at arms your original testimonials to bring to me here. Then as he brings them, I will give you 2 minutes. Tell us your name, your educational background, your work experience. Then as you do that one, you convince this committee why you qualify as per Section 58 of the County Government Act to be a member of Kisumu County Public Service Board. In other words, in 2 minutes, if you do it well, then you don't even need to continue with the interview. We just go away. So your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. My name is CS Dr. Dinah Anyango Liech. I am a married mother of 5, married to one husband, handsome one. And I am a holder of PhD, the highest degree I have, master's degree from ESAMI, bachelor's degree from Kenya Methodist, and of course, 4 degree. I have worked in the central government, starting with the mainstream civil service as a human resource person. I was seconded to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which graduated to IEBC. And after the elections of 2013, when IEBC was to be sent home, the politicians who are our stakeholders decided that the Directorate of Political Registration was to be an independent office, and I was sent there to go and establish that office. I worked in that office as an independent office from 2014 to December 2019, when I retired from the public service, heading HR and establishing.
Why do you think you are qualified to be a member of public service
I have
board?
wide experience in human resource management. Other than that, I also worked at the Public Service Commission doing recruitment. And that gives me a lot of experience in human resource practice which I did from recruitment to the policy issues. And my PhD is on strategic management. I also dealt with budgeting, human resource, PE budgeting. So I believe this is relevant place for me, and I will bring experience, practical experience into this board.
Dinah, I'm seeing that you're a certified public secretary from June 1997. Why did you apply to be the county secretary, to be the secretary to the public service board?
I did not apply. I'm a CS, but I did not apply because I wanted to give chance to younger people to serve. That place requires a younger person. That's a professional place. And at my age, I wanted to give chance to young.
Give you chance to ask questions to Dr. Dinah. I want anybody who's ready. I start with the proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Madam Dinah. CS Dinah. She said she is a CS, Dr. Dinah.
My CS, thank you.
I'm Nerea. My question number one, how do you actualize the requirements of Article 96 of the Constitution in the operations of the board?
I think that 1 minute.
Chair,
1 minute is enough for you to answer
how
that.
would you ensure that the requirements of Article 196 of the Constitution are actually actualized in the operations of the board?
I believe I will portray my professionalism in my work, and I will follow the law according to how the Constitution spells out.
Chair, Article 196 talks of public involvement in the operations. How would you ensure that all cadre of persons are involved?
We can organize public meetings if we have resources. We can also do it through the media. We can also do it through the technology that is there now, especially for the young generation. And therefore, everybody will be on board on what the county is doing.
Okay, wait a minute. Honorable Nerea looks like she's still
Secondly, Chair, in her own submission, she has been a director, human resource at the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. And when asked to list chronological any public offices that she has worked in or currently holding, she said not applicable.
Chair, I must apologize. That was a very serious oversight because the form was so big, and that was a very serious omission. I apologize for that, Chair.
Dr. Dinah, what are you saying in one of the members? That this questionnaire was so big, and you want to be the member of county public service board, where you are going to deal with the files of thousands of employees, around 5,000 employees. And at a time you will ask for people to apply for appointment, and you could get like 1,000 people applying, and you are saying this was so big that you could not do it properly.
Chair, I want to apologize that was an error, a very serious one. It was an omission on my side, and that will not happen again. That will not repeat itself again in my life of service with the board if I'm taken.
And finally, Chair, Dr. Dinah is a native of Homa Bay County, but she has stated very well that she is married, and I've seen her postal address to be from Apondo. That means Nyando constituency in Kisumu County. But she's saying that she has no family members in Kisumu or any other persons that would cause conflict of interest in relations to her work should she be approved as a member of the board.
Dr. Dinah, where is your home?
My home is East Kanoyo, Nyando sub-county. Chair, unless I did not understand that part, but if you read through the questionnaire, there's a place I explained. There was somewhere where they were talking of how I will deal with conflict of interest. And I think I explained how I will deal with it should I have a relative.
Part of it reads, identify the family members or other persons, parties, categories of litigation or financial arrangements that are likely to present potential conflicts of interest when you first assume the position to which you have been. Explain how you would address any such conflicts. And then she said none. Then part B, explain how you will resolve any potential conflict of interest, including the procedure you will follow in determining the areas of concern. I think she has narrated something there. I want to protect the nominee that it relates to appointment and not to where she is. But the first question that she was asking, she referred to something like being a native of Homa Bay. But I looked at your ID, it's reading Nyando.
Yeah, I was born in Suba. You must be born somewhere.
Yes.
I was born in Suba and married in Nyando. And I think there's nothing wrong with me being married in Nyando.
Right. Yes, Honorable Koyo, you want to go? Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Dr. The County Public Service Board is mandated to hire fire. That is members of county's public service members. As a member of this board, when you get the meeting, how would you help in developing strategic human resource plan aligned development agenda for the county?
Proceed.
I will help the board to look at the establishment, believe there is, and then we look at the objectives of every department, and then we will look at what type of the incumbent do we require for every position, so that when we are doing the job description and specification for future recruitment, we are very clear on the type of people we want with their qualifications.
I think I'm clear, Chair.
Okay, Honorable Lumumba. Not ready. Honorable Karen. Lumumba, you are ready? Okay, proceed.
Whether it's good afternoon or morning, whichever it is. My name is Lumumba Wade. I'm the area MCA for Southeast Nyakash. I'm a member of this committee. But in the County Public Service Board exercises disciplinary control over county public officers. In light of the Employment Act 2007 and Principle of Fair Labor Practices, What legal consideration must the board meticulously observe when initiating and concluding disciplinary proceedings, particularly concerning issues like unfair termination, constructive dismissal, or collective bargaining agreement? 2. How would you ensure that the board's decision will stand judicial scrutiny, given the increasing litigations in labor disputes against the county government?
2 minutes.
I will start with the first one. The procedure for discipline will be followed, giving the person who is alleged to have committed a crime opportunity to defend himself or herself. And then will be also be given opportunity to be represented. And then the due process for disciplinary procedure will be followed, where it is still necessary that the justification he has given does not satisfy the board, then the board will initiate the disciplinary proceeding by either giving him a verbal warning or a written warning, telling him and giving him or her time to exonerate himself or herself from the allegations. I think that answers the first question. Second, I didn't get.
How would you ensure that the board's decisions withstand judicial scrutiny, given the increasing litigations in labor disputes against county government?
The board's decision will indeed withstand, because the board will follow all the laid down procedure for if it reaches a point of dismissing that particular officer, everything will be documented, his or her defenses, the allegations, every document that is available will be produced. And the whole process will be fair, not just seen to be fair, but will be fair. And in that way, they will beat litigation.
Finally, from my experience, I've noticed that people who are on PNP, permanent pensionable, are highly indisciplined, given the fact that dismissing them is not very easy. They normally misbehave. And then we also have contracted staff, 3 years, we depend. Which choice would you go for? Or you advise the county to embrace in terms of employment?
I will still advise the county to go for permanent and pensionable because it is contributory. One, an officer who is working on contract, the most, according to the law, the number of years could be 3 years renewable subject to performance or 5 years non-renewable. And this officer will be busy looking of how to get rich when here, because after those years, I may not be here. But an officer who is permanent and pensionable is able to tame, is able to change, is able to train. Because what time do you have to train an officer who is on contract for 3 years and come back and give back to the county? So I would advise and advocate for permanent and pensionable.
That perspective also in terms of performance. In terms of performance. Senator Tam, can you leave the nominee can operate that gadget? When you want to respond, you switch it on. When you have done, you switch it off. I think it's a very simple gadget to operate.
Chair, repeat your question, please.
I want you to give the other perspective of what you've said in terms of performance. Contractual vis-a-vis P&P.
Contractual performance.
I'm saying performance in terms of doing work. Compare contractual vis-a-vis P&P.
When we are talking of performance contractual here, I don't know whether we are talking of performance management or we are talking of...
Let me repeat.
Performance management?
Let me repeat. You said in your response to his question that people who are on P&P On the employer side, they can be trained to be retained. They are not in a hurry because they know they are there. Unlike the contractual, where they are in a hurry to make money because they know they are leaving tomorrow. So I'm just challenging you. But what about performance? Could we say that the person on contract would want to work hard so that contract is renewed? Yeah?
Chair, performance for an individual is subjective. When you are managing performance and you have a goal for an employee and you want results, you are not just paying salary because it is month end. You want to see what this employee will have achieved within the target that you are given to make. If this officer is not able to achieve, we follow the disciplinary procedure. We see how to get him or her out of the system because of non-performance.
Chair, you allow me. I'd ask on how would you handle the disciplinary? Because they're normally indisciplined when they know they're public, they are on P&P.
Yeah, I want to say, with all due respect, Chair, I think that is a sweeping statement because I was on P&P and I was not indisciplined. You can check my background. It is individual. Discipline starts from the house. Discipline starts with a child when a child is small. It is difficult to nurture a child who was not disciplined from the family, even in the office, whether on contract or on permanent and pensionable. So discipline depends with, the rules are there in every organization. I believe even here at the board we have. You give the officer the rules, terms of service according to the law, that you must do ABCD according to this within this time. If that officer, because of the lack of value and discipline from the family, is not able to cope, as I said, you will follow the disciplinary process and separate that officer.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Lech, I hope you're aware that some of the major functions of the County Public Service Board are establishing officials, making appointments, and exercising disciplinary control. Kindly discuss the legal principles that guide the lawful exercise of such discretion, and again, elaborate on the specific grounds upon which a court, through judicial review, may intervene to quash or compel a decision of the County Public Service Board. Last, how would you, as a member, ensure that the board's decisions are consistently defensible against judicial review challenges?
2 minutes.
The legal background, the legal laws that support disciplinary procedure, we have the Employment Act, we have the Public Service Commission Act, we have the Labor Relations Act, and there are also human resource manuals developed by organizations to handle that. 2, I believe I'm done with the first question. 2 is about how the board, the court, for example, if somebody is unlawfully dismissed, then the court may nullify that dismissal. I think that is, if I understood you, that is how I'm getting it. I want to put it to you that when the procedure is properly followed, without leaving out a step, because when you are doing this, it is easier, as Honorable had earlier said, that it's easier, just like it is easier to marry a wife and it is not easy to tell the wife to get out unless she wants to. The same way, it is not easier to tell a permanent employee to get out, or even an employee on contract. unless you have good reasons. And these good reasons are what I'm saying. You have a proper record. You give this employee a chance to defend himself and even to be represented by a lawyer or a friend or a whoever, and then you follow the due process properly, so that when that case is taken to court, you will have your documents as a board. This is how we followed the procedure, and there's no loophole in our dismissing this officer.
Honorable Seth Kanga.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I want to congratulate the nominee for being nominated to the serve in the county public service board. And my observation are this, Mr. Chair. The county public service board do make recommendations based on make recommendation to the salaries and remuneration commission over pensions, gratuities, and even on salaries. There are instances where sometimes the county public service board fails to adhere to the recommendations of the salaries and remuneration commission. By your understanding, since you've served in the public service for many years, going by your CV, what are some of the consequences, the legal challenges, which might come as a result of the county public service board failing to adhere to those recommendations?
2 minutes.
One, I want to believe SRC are giving guidelines on payments of salaries and allowances according to the job evaluation, which is either done or which they inherited, the county inherited the payments of salaries if such an exercise has not been done. And they are guiding to cut onto the wage bill. So if we don't adhere to the SRC's guidelines, you will pay outside the law, and it will reach a point where you are not able to justify. And when now you are doing your PE budget, the county will have a huge wage bill that is even consuming the 70% of O&M operations, and whatever is left for other services that are recurrent will not be there. So those will be the issues that will be there. And again, now the county will not be following the guidelines of the SRC, which again is not constitutional.
Madam Dinah, you graduated first degree, Bachelor of Business Administration in 2010. Was that your first degree?
Yes.
That is your first degree?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. In 2002, that is before 2010, you were awarded a scholarship to go and do MBA. I assume that is Master of Business Administration.
Yes, yeah.
2002, but you graduated with your first degree in 2010. How did this happen?
Yes, Chair. I think I've put all the documents in my file. I started working when I only had a CPS final, which makes me be called CS. And the government then, the mainstream, was equating part 2 of either CPS or CPA with first degree. And because the Ministry of Public Service, which was then called the DPM, they were the ones working on training of on masters to all the public servants. They awarded me. I just found a letter giving me an opportunity to go for masters based on my CPS final. So I went, I did my masters. After doing masters, I realized that I needed to close that gap, no matter how crooked it will look in the eyes of men and women, but in my own self, it will have closed the gap that would, the educational gap that would have been left behind. That is how I went back to do bachelor's after I had my master's. And indeed, this assisted me when I was now applying for PhD. I could not have done PhD if I did not have this first degree. So I think for me, that is very okay. I'm a professional more than just first degree.
Honorable Leader Majority, Anyango.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Kisumu County has consistently failed to meet its revenue collection targets, and that is contributing to so much pending bills. As a member of the County Public Service Board, how do you strategically engage with the County Treasury and the County Assembly to address the impact of these fiscal challenges on human resource management, particularly concerning personnel emoluments, staff morale, and the board's ability to attract and retain talent? Hello? What specific recommendations would you propose to mitigate the adverse effects of pending bills on the county public service?
I'm not getting what we need to mitigate there. To mitigate the pending bill.
Yes.
First, I want to say that the county should look at the ways of getting their own resources without relying on the national government. And the county we should spend within our means so that we don't have any arrears pending. We should not also extend arrears, accumulate, like officers go for, because he's talking about officers go for these safaris, they take even 6 months, they have not been paid, it goes to the other financial year. Those are things that we need to avoid because it will be pending. So if we try to look for our own resources, like this one, if you allow me, I will take more than 2 minutes. I worked with Ministry of Local Government when we were having local authorities and the process of getting their relative budget. They were getting more, they were having a lot of budget, a lot of money without, and what they were getting from Treasury was based on what their collections they were making. So if we can try to go back and see what is it that we are not doing right, that time they were doing right, so that we have a lot of sources of getting revenue. Like our Kisumu County is very rich. Then now we will be able to finance and we will not have any, and then we do prudent financial management. We will not be able to have pending bills.
Thank you so much, Dinah. Vice Chair, you have a question?
Yeah, Madam, I have this question. First, as a country, we do our things according to the Constitution. Now, when we are now vetting the members of the Public Service Board, and when you see the entire list, all the nominees are Luos, according to Constitution, and you as an experienced human resource manager, what can you say about it?
1 minute.
Nominees are Luos. What I can say is the positions were advertised. It was attracting all Kenyans. We have the right of getting 30% from without Kisumu. And so many, if one was qualified and applied and appeared before the panel and performed well, I don't think that panel could have left them out. So all I'm saying is, if the process of recruitment, like for these nominees, it was transparently done, But those who feared to apply, they could not come on board.
I don't think you got our question right. Our concern is the list that we have for now is the Luos. If you are appointed to be a member of the board, what do you plan to do to cure that? Not on what you're having now. I don't know if you heard her clearly.
Thank you, Chair. I will still insist that the positions will still be advertised, and we'll give people time to apply. Like naturally, if you give 14 days, 21 days to apply, by the end of the days, if none Luos have applied, you cannot force them to come. So if we will continue doing that, we may be able to attract and fulfill the requirement of 30% and take other people who are not from Kisumu.
So in short, you want to tell me that even if you are given an opportunity, you will still do it the same way it has been done today?
I really do not understand if you understand what she's asking. We know that advertisement is made, people are given opportunity to apply. But what is it that you are going to do to ensure that they apply and you ensure that we don't have a similar parents?
Chair, I know very well the issue of affirmative action. The only one thing that I will learn when I'm in the board how to handle is how to handle people who have not applied for a position and you want them to be in your list. That one I will learn.
If they are applied, because I have a long list here. What if they are applied? They all applied.
Or if they applied, then we will follow. We will look at the law and see. I'm not convinced that they all could not have passed the panelists' interviews because it was a fair, very good board. So for that reason, I will make sure if you apply, you are not a Luo, you qualify, the 30%, we will fix you there.
Okay, I don't want to insist on that question. Maybe, where do you vote?
In Wawidi, Pondo Primary.
Okay, I wanted to ask that, is there a polling station called Wawedi? Could you say that Pondo Primary? So, how many wards do you have in Kisumu County?
35.
How many are within the city?
Kisumu.
Kisumu City.
There are 7.
7 wards.
7 wards.
Which are these wards?
I may not remember all of them, but I'll try. Saurimoyo, Nyalenda, Kondele, railways. Yeah, my mind fails me. I'm not going to. I'm not remembering all of them. I don't know why.
Okay, okay. And you talked about fairness, equity. I've heard you mentioning fairness. How are you going to be fair if you don't understand these words? Okay. How many municipalities do you have in Kisumu County?
Municipalities.
Yes.
There are 5.
Name 4.
4.
Yes.
Ahero, Muhoroni, Atito, Maseno.
Are you sure there is a municipality called Ahero, Kisumu County?
Ahero was. Maybe I'm missing the name, but there's Ahero.
I just want to confirm, is there a municipality called Ahero? There is.
Ahero Awasi.
Okay. And then number 2?
Number 2, I talked of Katito.
There's a municipality called Katito. I pass.
Yeah, pass.
Thank you so much. Dr. Dinah, before I give you an opportunity to maybe give a comment or ask a questions. What is your net worth? How rich are you?
I think I'm about 50,000 million. What?
You're not sure of your richness. You
What?
don't know your wealth. Yeah, know your net worth.
It's I said 50.
50. You said you think. So I was wondering.
50. Yeah.
Consisting of?
Consisting of my home in Kano. We also have houses in Nairobi. Used to stay. We have plots in Nairobi. And a meager income.
Now I want to give you 1 minute if you have a comment or a question to the committee. 1 minute.
I am just very grateful. I'm humbled that you invited me to come here and give back my county. I worked in Nairobi for close to 40 years. And coming back to work in Kisumu County is for me, I'm humbled. Because I know, Chair, this one you'll give me.
Dinah, we appreciate your coming. We already have your documents that you submitted. We are also doing our due diligence, so we'll retreat to consider your application. I want to wish you the best. Should the committee give you a nod, I hope you'll do the best for the Kisumu County. Should they do the opposite, I think you still remain a member of Kisumu County and you can still serve Kisumu County at different levels. So I've given you back your documents, just check them plus your ID. At such a time we'll escort you outside. Is there a summary for the nominee? I'm not sure, you can check. But we wish you the best.